Well, hello, Sunny Hill, and well done. This is the end of the prayer and fasting week. This is the final guided prayer and reflection, the final prayer activity we're doing as a church this week, and we're praying into the theme of
Unity.
Unity. Such an important theme for us to pray into. I really hope that this week you've been blessed by all the prayer things we've had going on, and that you really experienced and encountered God in a greater way. But yes, as Jude says, we're praying into the theme of unity today. Do you know what unity means?
Being one.
Being one. Let's do that. Being one. Now, Jude is my middle child. How old are you now? 5, 6?
No, 9.
Oh, you're 9? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Oh, okay. Well, where have you been the last 3 years then? Okay.
Here.
Yeah, okay. Well, there we go. So you're 9 years old. I also have an older son called Caleb. How old's he? 9, 10?
11.
Oh, 11.
11.
Okay. So you're 9?
Yes.
Caleb's 11, and I've got a 3 or 4 year old called Zeke.
6-year-old is called Zeke.
What's that, Zeke? Oh.
He's 6.
Apparently Zeke's 6. So 3 boys living in a house with 3 boys. Well, in fact 4 boys, because I'm like a big child. Just ask Lou, my wife.
No, 5 children actually. Does Ramsey count?
Ramsey doesn't count as a child, but we better bring him on. Ramsey, come here.
Come on.
Okay, here we go, because sometimes he gets involved as well. Ramsey, another boy, okay. Doesn't count as one of my sons though. I only have 3 sons. Jude's the middle one. Now, what is it that you boys kind of often do that make me and Mom sometimes lose our mind?
Play football in the hall.
Play football in the hall. That certainly makes Mom lose her mind. What else do you do?
I don't know. What do we do?
Well, you know. Sometimes when you get a bit rowdy, what do you end up doing?
Oh, fighting.
Fighting. You're fighting. Now, who normally starts that?
Caleb.
Tell the camera.
No. It's either Caleb or Zeke.
But never you.
No. Okay. Yeah.
What are the chances? You're perfect, aren't you? I forgot.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's Caleb. I think it's Caleb.
And herein lies the problem. When it
No,
comes
it is Caleb though.
when it comes to unity, isn't it funny how we always think it's someone else's fault? How we think it's someone else's problem? How they are the ones at fault? We can't possibly be at fault. It's always Caleb, isn't it?
Always.
Always. What do you think Caleb would say if he was stood there?
You say Zeke.
Oh, Zeke, what are you saying? I don't know if you can hear that, but Zeke's shouting upstairs, it's all of us.
It's not as Caleb.
Okay, well, let's forget what Jude says, okay? The scripture says that we are to make every effort to keep the unity, to maintain the unity of the Spirit, okay? We are to make an effort to preserve the unity, and in the same way that these brothers fight, okay? My hope is, this is my hope as a parent, and it may be a vain hope, my hope is that as you get older, what do you think I hope?
That we'll be mates.
That you'll be mates, that you will love one another better, that you will fight less. Doesn't mean you always agree on every conceivable thing, but the hope is that as you get older together, you will love one another more and better. In the same way in the church, as we come to greater maturity, as we grow up in the faith, we should be fighting less. We should be divided less, because unity is super, super powerful. Why do you think unity is powerful?
With being one.
Being one. And when something is one, it's harder to break and it's harder to pull apart. We know that Satan is constantly trying to divide the church, and he tries to divide the church by dividing marriages, dividing families, dividing congregation from the leaders and all this sort of stuff. And really the heart and prayer today is that we would know a greater unity as a church. Right, check this out. What does it say in Psalm 133? Can you read that?
How good and pleasant is it when God's people live together in unity.
Okay, the scripture says how good and pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell in unity. And it actually says that God instructs a blessing. What does it mean if God blesses something?
Makes life easier.
Makes life easier, maybe. Like maybe that you're happier. Maybe there's a greater sense of happiness resting on a person when they're unified. And that's really our prayer today, is that the church, Sunny Hill, would know a greater unity in these times. I believe that Satan is trying to divide the church, capital C. I'm not just talking about Sunny Hill. Trying to divide the church, trying to divide our theology, trying to divide our philosophy, trying to divide our ideals and our ways of life. But we really want to pray today that God would give the church the strength and power to maintain the unity, to keep the unity of the Spirit, okay? And so today, that's what we're going to pray for. And we've got 3 things specific, and I've written them down on my hand so we don't forget them. The first one, can you read that?
History.
No. Ministry.
Oh, ministry. Teams.
Ministry teams, okay? So the first aspect we're going to pray into is, Lord, would you unify the ministry teams of Sunny Hill? By that, the Next Gen team, the Kids Church team, the Worship team, the Homeless Outreach team, the Cafe team, the Welcome team, all the different teams that make up the serving life of Sunny Hill, we want to pray that they would be unified, that they would be of one spirit, because actually it's so profound. What we want is we want to experience blessing in all those different areas of ministry at Sunny Hill. We want to experience the blessing in the worship, don't we?
Yeah.
I bet in Kids Church there's a great team there, isn't there?
Really great.
Really great, and we want them to experience the blessing of God on the Kids Church, don't we?
Yes.
Unity is crucial for that. So that's the first facet. We're going to really pray over the next few minutes that God would really bless the ministry teams of Sunny Hill and that they would be unified. The second thing, can you read that? I'll write like a doctor.
Small group.
Small groups. We're going to pray for the unity of the small groups. I don't know what your small group's like, but we're so blessed. We're in a great small group, and there's a real spirit of unity. Now, we're not all the same. We haven't all come from the same kind of background. We're all different, men and women, different ages, older, younger. But we just want, we actually enjoy a great sense of unity, and there's a great blessing in that. So we're going to pray, that's the second point today, we're going to pray for the small groups of Sunny Hill, that they would know a greater sense of unity with one another. That's cool, isn't it? And finally, what does that say?
Chaka.
Chaka?
No.
No? Third and final? Churches.
Oh, churches across
District.
district.
Churches across district. So we're not just going to pray for the unity of Sunny Hill on an insular level. We're going to pray for the unity of churches across the district on a macro level, okay? That we want to be unified with other churches in the area, because even though we may do things slightly different, even though we may think some things slightly different, actually, if they love Christ and they are preaching the gospel, then we want to know a unity with our brothers and sisters across other denominations, across other churches. Why? Because God blesses what? What did you ask?
God blesses unity.
God blesses unity.